Hey guys, welcome back. We're starting yet another project pan over here on my channel. I'm losing my marbles. I am just project panning obsessed right now. Who knows if I'm going to be able to keep this up all year long, but for now, I'm really excited about it. And I'm doing another roulette style project because I'm bonkers and I'm doing everything in my life roulette style right now, including my TBR for my book videos over on my other channel. Like, everything is randomized. I don't want to make any decisions in 2019. The project I'm starting today is pan those eyeshadows roulette style, which was started by Alexi, and I will have her channel linked down below, of course. She's also the one I got inspiration to do my whole collection project pan collab from. I've seen a lot of people do this project over the last few years, but I'm going to do mine the way Alexi did hers last year, which is pick 5 eyeshadows, 2 of which are singles, 3 of which are from palettes, but she randomizes the palette and then chooses the shade herself. I've seen Rebecca Morgan as well as Too Much Tash do this project as well, but they completely randomized every pan of eyeshadow, which is actually what I've done in my whole collection project pan video. So I already have 5 eyeshadows that I didn't get to choose. So I wanted to be able to choose some shades because I'm definitely missing some shades that I feel like I could really focus on and use them at the same time as with my other project pan, and I feel like that makes the most sense to be successful in both projects, if that makes sense. I do have one limitation, and that is not another black eyeshadow. I have a black eyeshadow that I'm working on in my other project, this one here by Crown Brushes, and I'm already really struggling with that. Blacks are hard to go through, and so I don't want more than one and set myself up for failure. And I also, like, this is supposed to be a challenge, yes, but it's also to make me get more use out of my eyeshadows. I recently did my makeup inventory and realized I had 491 pans of eyeshadow. Like, that is insane. And if I were to open all of my palettes and singles, most of them look basically new. Like, I do use my eyeshadows, but I'm very light-handed and I rotate through everything, so I'm only using a palette a handful of times a year, and that's not even including like every single shade in that palette, if that makes sense. So this is going to help me reach my goal of hitting 19 pans in 2019, and it's also going to be another project pan, which I want to do more of this year. And I really want to get more use out of my eyeshadows, especially when I considered 491. How many of those are matte cream shades? How many of those are blacks? How many of those are like light transition colors that pretty much get lost in the look? They're just there to help blend things out. And when I started thinking of my collection in that way, I realized I had way too many and need to work harder to use them up. That was a long, rambly intro, and we're going to start choosing the products now. I'm using the Pretty Random app like I did in my last video, and I'm making the minimum 1 and the maximum is 81 because I have 81 single eyeshadows, and I'm going to choose 2 of those, not getting a black as I mentioned, and those will just be the single shadows that I'm working on, and I'll be able to choose complementary colors to go with them out of my palettes, if that makes sense. I hope you're able to see this. I randomize 66 and then 6. Okay, I'm just going to randomize my palettes right now too, and then I'll pull everything out. I have 34 eyeshadow palettes. First, number 6, I guess, the color changed, so that's what I'm going to go with. 5 and 30. Okay, I'm going to quickly pull those out and I will be right back. Okay guys, I have everything pulled out. This is going to be very challenging. My goal is going to be hitting pan on these shades, and then as I hit pan on them, I will roll in other shades. So if I hit pan on a single, I will choose a different single. If I hit pan on the shade that I chose in a palette, then I will roll in another palette. I didn't get any duplicates in terms of palettes from what I'm already working on, so that's going to be good. I will hopefully be having pan in many different palettes in my collection this year. I'm going to start off with the singles. So the first number we pulled was number 66, and this is a brand new eyeshadow that I've never used yet, and I technically, as I'm filming this, have not hauled it yet, although if my scheduling is correct, then you'll have seen a large beauty haul before this video. But I made a large Coastal Scents order for their Black Friday sale, and as you can see, I didn't fill up the entire palette because I wanted to test out the formula and just get the shades that I had been looking at previously. And I don't know how this happened, because on the website I swear they looked much more different, and this is a lot of neutrals when I'm more into colorful shades. Remember in my last project pan intro I was like, at least I didn't get a lime green or something. I told you I'd be putting my foot in my mouth. We'll get into that. However, number 66 was the shade Rich Walnut, which is this shade right here. I will give a quick swatch right now, but I will be doing close-ups so we can monitor my progress on these shades. It is nice and pigmented. It is just a neutral, warm, shimmery brown shade. I should be able to get a lot of use out of this, but it being literally brand new, it's going to be very hard to hit pan on, and kind of makes me sad to hit pan on something that I literally just bought, but it's in my collection. I need to use it. So that is the first shade. And the second single I got, which was number 6, was a ColourPop Super Shock Shadow, and this is in the shade Weenie, which is a Kathleen Lights collab, and it is a rose gold type of shade. This is feeling pretty dry, so I'm happy to get more use out of it right now, but it still swatches out fine, so I'm sure it is fine to apply on the lids. It just doesn't have that super creamy bouncy texture, which also means it's going to be harder to hit pan on than it may have been if it were new. Now moving into palettes, number 6 was the Pure Soiree Diaries palette. This is a great neutral palette. I really enjoy this, and I'm going to go really boring and choose the shade Gala right here. It is a really light brown. I thought I just smeared eyeshadow all over this new white shirt. I know it's pretty boring, but I do not have a good transition color in any of these project shadows currently, and I feel like I need to use one every day, so I might as well include it in a project. So this is the shade that I'm choosing out of this palette. This will be a good shade to blend out the rest of the eyeshadows with. It's just a bit deeper than my skin tone. Number 5 was the Pure Cosmetics, like pure with an E, like how you would normally spell pure in English. The Buff Collection palette. I received this in a BoxyCharm. This is $50, which is only $2 or $4 less than the Urban Decay Naked palettes. And it's nowhere near as good. It's like one of those dupe palettes, but it's not actually like any cheaper. This is a dupe for the Urban Decay Naked 3. And again, I'm going boring, which you'll forgive me in a minute, with this shade, and I'm going to go with Quartz here. This is like the matte creamy type of shade. It does have a bit of like a pink undertone just to like match the vibes of the palette, but I'll be able to use this every single day to set my eyeshadow primer. Why can I not speak? There's probably no point in swatching this, but let's do it anyways. It's just a creamy white shade, like I said, with a little bit of a pinky undertone, but that will be necessary. And again, I don't have that in my other project. Palette number 30. This is another palette that I have yet to haul as I'm filming this, but again, do you forgive me for choosing boring shades out of the other palettes yet? This is the NYX Ultimate Brights palette. Yeah. Hitting pan on one of these is going to be very hard, and it actually was really hard for me to choose, and I'm still kind of back and forth between these two shades here. My reasoning is Weenie is a rose gold shade, so I thought maybe this like pinkish color, it's like a rosy shade, but it's a little more vibrant than what I would typically describe as a rosy shade, and I thought those would pair really nicely together. But then in my other project, I'm panning Amaretto from the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, which leans more purple. So then I was kind of looking at this. I thought this would be a good transition shade to use with a purple look, to maybe bring out more of the purple color in that shade. I didn't want to go boring with like an orange or a yellow, because I feel like those would be more easy to incorporate in many different looks. And both of these shades are matte, which I like. But there's also this beautiful coral shade up here, which is the color of the year, but we're currently in January, so I feel like I wouldn't get a lot of use out of that right away. Oh. You know what? I think I'm going to go with this rosy pink shade. I'm really unsure with my choice, but this is a very hard palette to choose a shadow to pan. I've never used it before. My friend passed this on to me. She had only used a handful of the shades, but I feel like this is a safe but like not safe bet, because I definitely could have chosen like this shade or this shade. So let me give this one a swatch as well and a clean finger. Oh, it's still pretty vibrant. Oh no. It's like hot pink on my skin. Sweet baby Jesus. Alright, well, I've already spoken. So these are the 5 shadows I'm going to try and pan so far this year. This will be a rolling project. I think I'm going to update this project every 6 weeks. I think that's a good enough amount of time, and obviously my aim will be to rotate at least one shadow each time, but I do have 5 other eyeshadows I'm panning as well, for a total of 10 eyeshadows I'm panning at one time. Let me know if you have any tips for how you would prioritize that. Like, so far I've just been kind of like rotating through my focus, but should I maybe pick say 3 or 4 shades to really go in on at a time? Like, this is my first time painting eyeshadow, so I'd love your feedback and let me know what you think of my choices. I'm really excited about this project. I have loved watching everyone's intros and Alexi's series last year, and I went back and watched her 2017 Pan Those Eyeshadows series as well, and I was really inspired to do it, but too chicken. And then I wrote on Twitter like, that's it, I don't care, I'm diving in and I'm gonna give this a try. And now I'm scared. I'm now going to jump into swatches and progress shots so that you can see where we are starting at. enjoyed today's video and this intro to a new exciting project pan. Leave me your tips and well wishes, good luck, something like that in the comments down below. I'm definitely going to need it. Please do give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!